Hey everyone, this is Lolo Reddy from Abstrakt Music Lab, and we're back with our sound design series. Today we're going to work on something a bit different. We're going to work on brass tabs, and we're not only going to do brass tabs like Meduza, brass tabs like Artbat, we're also going to do brass tabs like Melodic House as well, and also some really weird brass tabs. So expect at least 4 brass tabs so you can work with them and know how they're done as well. So just so you can listen, what is a brass tab? Well, this is a brass tab. And you can listen to this brass tab. I feel that I have a video here in the top right corner that you can see how I can do this brass tabs, and you can do them by yourself. But let's do them from scratch. Let's start here our sound design series. As usual, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you loved it, hit the subscribe and leave it here in the comment sections. What kind of sounds do you want to make it afterwards? I'm thinking about making sounds like Artbat, so leads, basses, brass tabs, arps. So let me know if this idea is cool, and let me know if you want to see something like this. And as usual, if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee, or you can buy our preset pack available here in the description or in the top right corner. Or if you want to go bigger, we have our new freshly squeezed samples pack available here in the description, and in the top right corner we have 138 presets for Serum over there. But enough with the talking, and let's get down to business. Let's get started with the sound design. We're gonna just initialize the sound over here. And we're going to start with a raw sound. This is how it sounds like. Really simple. But what are brass tabs? Well, brass tabs, think about a bass that is plucky and also possibly has a little bit of attack. That's simply how it's done. Again, we're making a bass. We have to make a pluck. So pluck, either you can make it with the envelope 1 directly in the sound, or you can make it in the filter with envelope 2. And we're going to start this one by making it with envelope 2 in the filter. Just so you can listen. This is a simple pluck. And again, what we're going to do here is we're going to add a little bit of distortion. And we're going to add a little bit of release to the sound, and also to the original sound. So it has a little bit more of a tail. And we're going to start playing here with the drive, the Reese, and also a little bit here with a filter. So if we listen to something like this, still sounds like a pluck. So maybe if we put this a bit like this, and now we open the attack a little bit of envelope 2, you can already see that it has a little bit of a sound of a brass tab. It's not perfect, but it has a little bit of it. So over here, you can see that opening up the cutoff already makes the sound a bit better. We're gonna increase the resonance, increase the drive, and we're also adding some reverb, just so you can see. A pretty big one. Kind of don't like this wow that it has. I'm gonna take the resonance out. And if you want, you can push it a little bit further with an EQ. So it's a little bit more MIDI. You can see that this already is a brass tab. We can take the low end out if you already have a bass. And you can make it longer as well. You can see that a lot of it comes from the envelope and the attack. So without this, it would just be a pluck, as I said before. And a lot of this also comes here from the reverb that we added over here. But a lot of the character comes here with the distortion and how you shape your filter. For example, you can have, and we're going for our second example over here. We're going to make this note a little bit longer. And we're also going to initialize this preset again. So we're going here for our second brass tab. The second brass tab is going to be the same thing. But however, instead of doing just with 1 voice of unison, we're doing with 2. Actually, we're doing with 7 and -2 octaves again. And now you can see that this is a drone bass. A drone bass, if you don't know what a drone bass is, you can see it here in the top right corner, and I teach you how to do drone basses. But basically what we're going to try to do over here is make it a little bit more trebly. Really, really, really turbulent. Let's raise this volume a little bit. We're going to, again, envelope 2. Instead of using an MG low, what we're going to use right now is a band 12 or 24. Let's use a 24. We're going to increase the resonance. Okay. And we're going to use this envelope 2 over here just a tiny bit. And we're going to put the sustain all the way down. Put the release here of envelope 1 so we can have a little bit more of a tail in the sound. And since we want to make this bigger, I'm also going to add oscillator B over here without any unison. Maybe if you use band 12. Let's use band 12 for now, because I think that it gives a little bit more of body to the sound. And again, we can also intensify the drive. And now we're going to go and start shaping the sound to do a couple more weird things with it. You can see that without this resonance, it also has that sound, but the resonance is what gives that wow, you know, that kind of effect. And let's go here into the distortion. We're going to add here a hard clip. Because the distortion is really good to make the sound a little bit more troublesome. Without it, it adds a lot of volume, yes, but that's what we want with it. And now, filter, we're going to take a little bit of the low end out. But we're not going to use this envelope too. We're going to use a different and longer envelope over here. So, again, sustain, release. Maybe a bit longer and maybe a bit more. Or let's invert this. Let's put this over here. And let's put this one a bit longer. You can see that this gives an extra whoa kind of effect into the sound, which is really cool. Again, resonance, drive. Let's put the master a little bit down. And now let's play around with a little bit of chorus, a little bit of phasing, just so we can have a little bit more of an effect to the sound. And don't have to even change anything over here. Just this one, envelope 3, which is guiding here, this filter, we're going to increase the sustain. And we're going to make this even longer. Just so you have more of that sound. Really cool sound, right? We can add a little bit of reverb in the end, so we can have a little bit more of that tail. I love using sounds like this. And you can make this a little bit more low-endy, just playing around with this cutoff over here. Another thing that it's really cool to do, and it's something to make the sound a little bit more wobbly, is you can pick here the LFO and put this over here in the filter, just a tiny bit. You're going to press here. You can see that this way is just going one way. You're going to press here Alt Shift, and now it goes both ways. Now it creates like a wow, 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 wow kind of effect. And you can use the same kind of effect. I feel that a bit faster if you use this in the fine. So put this to, let's say, 20. Really cool sound, right? You can find this sound here available in the description below if you want to grab it and use it in your own tracks. And it's also, I think that this one is also in one of my preset packs. But let's go and try to do something else. What if we don't want a little bit of attack? What if we just want the sound to be really simple? Like, for example, Meduza sounds, they're a bit more bow, bow, bow. You know, how can we do something like this? So in this case, again, initialize preset. We don't have to use anything with attack. We're just going to use sustain, and we're just going to use the release over here. Okay. We're going to start again -2 just to make things a little bit different. Let's use a basic mini. Maybe -3 filter. And we have to make a boom, boom, boom. Maybe a bit more drive, a bit more volume. Maybe, since we want a really tight sound, we're gonna go with MG Low 24. You can see how this already makes the sound a bit bigger, but it's still a little bit too mono. So there are two ways in which you can put this a little bit more to stereo. Either you can do it over here, and you can see that it already gives like a really cool sound to it. And we're gonna test the other way, which is actually just coming here in the effects and using the hyper. Honestly, I like this one a bit better. We can make this even longer, so let's make with this one over here. Okay, so distortion again. Distortion is key in this kind of sound because it gives that character to the sound. And we're gonna use another filter again. Just use a cutoff over here. And the tighter you want the sound, the more you have to push here the MG Low 6 or 24. For example, if you use 24, you're gonna see that it's a little bit too tight. And if you want the sound to be even tighter, what you can do is just put the cutoff over here all the way down, and you can put this all the way up. Because it's gonna have to go a longer way, so the time it's gonna spend over here on top is gonna be smaller than if you did just something like this. Another cool thing that you can do here is if you just want a little bit of attack in the beginning, you go here to envelope 3. You pick this envelope 3 and put it all the way down, sustain all the way down. Decay, it has to be really short. Something like this would be enough based on how long the sound is. And you put it here to the cutoff. You can see that this envelope gives a big pluck to the sound. Without it, and with it. It already sounds a bit more... But again, let's go to the drive and let's intensify the drive to make this a bit bigger and fatter. Now it's a bit too loud, so we're gonna have to put the master all the way down. Now, again, reverb. Always make sure to put the low cut over there in the reverb because there's a lot of low end over there, so we have to cut this off. EQ, that depends. So what I would suggest to you in terms of EQing is, do you have a sub and a bass over there? If yes, well, then you probably have to cut this over here. Okay? And if you want to give a bit more body to the sound, you can just come here and go right around 600. It gives that crunchiness to the sound. But Leo, what if I want something a bit more granulated? And I'm gonna duplicate the sound over here because this is going to be a really simple one. What you can do is maybe put the octaves down, but you're gonna have to make it possibly with another over here because this sound is a bit too granulated. Can you see how this becomes a bit too granulated? This is good enough. What if you want, you can use this one and also put it as a 7th, for example. Can you see how this adds a fifth note to the sound? Without it. Have to take a little bit of the master. Without it. Again, if you want, just add unison over here to make the sound a bit more congruent with what you had before. Without this. You can see it makes the sound a bit more compact, okay? And now let's go to our fifth channel over here. In the fifth channel, we're just gonna make an adjustment to the sound, because it's also something that plays a big role in these kind of sounds, which are compressors. A compressor is basically gonna compress everything, but you're gonna have to squash it. If you want a little bit more attack, you just open this attack over here, and you can put the gain up again. But the cool thing is when you add the multiband over here, it adds a really cool sound. Can you see how it becomes different than what we had before? Oops. This becomes a bit more metallic, and it adds this kind of swirling effect. That's because of the reverb. Just place the reverb afterwards. And this helps a little bit with that. But I really like the sound, to be honest. So how can you make this a bit bigger again? Flanger, phaser, chorus. You can always play around with these, but chorus is also good to make the sound a bit more trebly. Can you see how the chorus makes the sound a bit different? And you can also play around with delays always. However, when playing around with delays, make sure to low cut it over here. Otherwise, it's gonna sound really weird. 1/8 dot, I just love it. This is if you want a little bit more of wobbliness in the sound, okay? And I feel that that's it. And let's go to our last sound. What if you want to do something simple, small, just something like Fisher did in his track, Losing It? Well, in this scenario, we're gonna just initialize the preset over here. We're gonna start by choosing A and B. We're gonna choose the unison all the way up. Nothing that what you haven't seen before. Just creating a simple sound to you. Okay, we're gonna put this 1 octave down. We're gonna use a filter. And we're gonna put this filter all the way down. And the thing here is to make the envelope really small as well. Oops. We're gonna have to use an attack over here as well. Possibly making this 1 octave down. And now what we're gonna do is, again, distortion as usual. We're gonna have to use a lot of EQ. Put this down, and with this EQ over here, you're just gonna make it a big notch over here. And if you listen to it, it's kind of like the sound that Fisher did in his song Losing It. You can add more reverb as well. And as usual, if you want to add a little bit more of high end, you can add just a little bit of noise to it. But something that I would recommend here in the noise is either put it here in the filter and make it louder. You can see it add that white noise. You know, that's what we want with this sound. Or another thing that you can do is put the level all the way down and put this macro here and put this envelope over here. So this envelope is guiding the level of the noise. Now just making it louder a little bit. And that's it. I hope you liked this video. We recreated 6 kinds of brass stabs today. If you want to listen to all of them, the first, the second, the third, the fourth, which is a little bit similar, but has that 7th note that we didn't have in this one. The fifth, which has a bit more of a delay vibe as well, and the 6th as well. Let me know here in the comments which of these 6 do you like the most and which do you see yourself using in your videos. And if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you loved it, hit the subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next Abstrakt video next week. Ciao.